We are live now.
Okay. Hello.
Hello, hello,
Hello.
and welcome to all the lovely viewers that who are watching us live. Thank you so much for your appreciation and your support for this session, the Conscious Circle of Excellence. And I am DC Malik here, and I'm the co-founder of the Soulful Explorations. I'm so happy to introduce Veena Dhandhia. She is the innocent shift coach, innermost the shift coach and the speaker. Her specializations in the field of the personal growth and mastery. With her the 5 years of experience, she has helped the hundreds of people bring about transformations within themselves in the multiple areas of their lives. Her mission is to empower people enough to enrich their lives, further to evolve from being ordinary to extraordinary and extraordinary to, to extraordinary. Her mantra is live life to the fullest. And we from the Soulful Explorations, we welcome Veena Dhandhia, and she is going to talk about today on a brainstorm on this how we can be built the resilience, and we can be how we can mastery. So here is the Veena Dhandhia. The stage is all yours. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Deepankar, for your wonderful words of appreciation. And hi, everybody. Hello. Today I am your friend. And thank you very much for taking the time out to tune in with us. And we know what the topic is today. We're talking about a very important thing in our life, a quality in our life that's called building resilience, which is a mind reinforcement. So, what is the outcome of today's talk? The outcome, we have three things in mind to bring throughout the session one by one. One is to reconnect to your inner self and understand what resilience is all about. Secondly, to see how we can bounce back from adversities in our life and come back to a near normal state, and how we can do that. And thirdly, how can we become inspirational and be a contributor to impact not only our lives, but the lives of other people around us. And how do we get the best of this talk today? So, friends, if you don't have a notepad and pen ready, then please grab one, grab your glass of water or your coffee or whatever you want to grab onto. And if there are any questions, please save them for later on. We'll try and answer as much as possible, or later on if we miss out on any, so don't worry. And the most important thing is enjoy yourself. So the areas that we're going to be talking about, I'll just run you through quickly so you know what to expect from the session. First of all, we'll understand what resilience is. We will see the importance of resilience. We will understand the skills to need that are needed to build resilience. We'll try and see what the 7 C's of resilience are. And then we will go specifically into our outcomes. One, how to reconnect within. Two, how to bounce back and learn from your setbacks. And three, how to be a contributor, not forgetting how to use resilience in these times as we are already going through a crisis. So, are you all with me, everyone? Okay, so let's start. So, everyone, if life hands you sour lemons, have you heard of all this? Have you, if life hands you sour lemons, learn to make lemonade. So, what does that mean? That is basically the crux of what we are talking about. So, if life hands you a crisis or some challenge or something that you can't control, then how do we make the best of the situation and turn it into lemonade to make it that sweet, that tasty, that cold, that refreshing? So, this is just a pun way of explaining what resilience is. But otherwise, what is the psychological definition of resilience? So, resilience is the ability to mentally and emotionally cope with a crisis and to be able to bounce back from that crisis into a near normal state. So if you think of it of the definition as such, in other words, it's to bounce back quickly from setbacks. Now, bounce back does not mean that you get rid of the stress or you ignore the stress. No, we have to learn to thrive within the stress. I'm sure you've all heard of how you can live like a lotus in a muddy pond. Have you ever thought of that? We have lotus flower, but it blooms and it develops so beautifully amongst mud. And if you see, a lot of our gods and goddesses are actually standing on lotuses or sitting on lotuses. So this is just another way to see what resilience is. So why is it important to build resilience? Just take 5 seconds to try and understand, why is it important to build resilience? Resilience is the glue to hold the mind together. So this allows for stability, this allows for learning, this allows for growth, and this allows for happiness. So how does resilience form? Does it come to you automatically? No. It has to be built. It has to be reinforced by the mind again and again and again and practiced using skills, which we'll be talking about soon. But we have to understand the belief cycle. The belief cycle is something that we have all grown up with. We have within our environment and within our experiences certain beliefs formed, and from these beliefs, certain values are formed. Now, from this, what happens is when a situation arises, thoughts are formed. When thoughts are formed, what arises? Emotions and feelings. And when emotions and feelings arise, what does that do? That leads you to action and behavior. And so you have the end result of that cycle. So, what are we trying to do here? We're trying to understand that it is our choice. It is our choice how we want to handle people, how we want to handle situations, how we want to handle any crisis. Because, friends, the problem is not the problem. The problem is how we react to it and how we respond to the situation. So if you change the way you see things, heard of this one? So if you change the way you see things, the things you see will change because you're looking at it from a different perspective. So don't let negativity get the better of you. Build up your strength to think positively, to impact your environment positively. It is a mind reinforcement. I hope you're all there with me so far. So we have understood what resilience is and why it's important to build that resilience. So it boils down to a line. I have. What do I have? I have the inner potentials. I have the quality within me to be strong. And I am. I am strong. I have the inner strength. I am capable. I am able to make decisions. I am able to handle crisis. And the third is I can. All right. So I have, I am, and I can. Well, you might say, all right, it's very easy to say all this, Veena. I mean, this is all just theory. It's all theory, but we are getting there. We're getting to certain skills and certain ways that we can overcome this. So if you, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you're a homemaker, whether you are a student, whether you are working from home, whatever, you need to leverage your mind. So use your thinking capacity, use your ability to solve problems so that you can act and influence people, situations, and environment. So what is simply put in one line? What will resilience do for us? It will just improve the quality of our life. How? It'll take you from okay to good to great. And hey, who doesn't want a great life? Don't we all want that? So I can't see you, but just give yourselves a thumbs up if you feel the same way. We all want great lives, and all of us want to do the best possible. So what are the challenges now we're talking about? What kind of challenges? First of all, we're going through a world life crisis right now. So that is one of the biggest challenges maybe we all have come across. It could be a serious health concern. It could be money worries. It could be you losing a job. It could be you wanting to ace a test. It could be your personal problem. It could be issues with your family. It could be having a tough conversation. It could even be having to handle a negative person in your house or around you. All these are crises or situations which are unfavorable, which we don't want to have to handle, but we need to handle in the best way possible. So let me give you an example of resilience. How would we be resilient? So now supposing I was a house. I am a house with a great solid foundation. Solid foundation as in my inner strength, my inner qualities. I'm strong as a house. Now a flood comes along. The flood is in the form of any crisis in our life. So what will happen to me? Either I will stay put, I'll be strong enough, or I'll shake a little bit. Okay. I will not get washed away with the flood. So that is what we mean when we say that we do not let negative situations disturb our mind to that extent that we cannot think and perform efficiently within our lives. And what about the time? Have you ever wondered? This is also a very important part of resilience. It's not only coping with a crisis, it's how quickly do you come back to a near normal state. Does it take you months to come back to something? Maybe you were grieving a loved one. It's a very sad situation, agreed. But does it take you months to come back? Does it take you weeks? Does it take you days? How quickly are you able to use yourself, use your abilities to think productively? Use meditation. Well, meditation will slow your thoughts, but at the same time, they will help you think quicker. So all these things have to be taken into account as to what does resilience, what is it made of? It's made of all these things. So, you realize that in one day, from 10 to 60,000 thoughts run in our mind. All right, 10 to 60,000, out of which 80%, friends, are negative. Why is that? Our mind is just wired like this. So what we need to do is to rewire our mind. And of course, that's going to take a little time. It's going to take a little practice. And we will have to change our thoughts to change reality. You can't change what's happened. It's external. Can you change anything external? Can you change the fact that a flood is there? Can you change the fact that an earthquake has happened? Can you change the fact that COVID times are here? Can you change the fact that someone's fallen seriously ill? You can't change all those external factors. But what you can do is work on them from your inner self to make things better, to find the best solution possible. Maybe the solution you find is not the best, but it's the best in that situation, in that circumstance, according to your mental capacity and ability. And that will bring you so much peace and so much calm. I can truly say, friends, if I, not to talk big, you might say it's very easy to say that, but I have gone through my share of ups and downs. I have learned the hard way how to be more resilient and how to cope with anything coming onto me. Now I can proudly say that anything comes up, I will be calm enough to find solutions to better the situation. I'm not perfect, but I will find those solutions and I will be calmer. I want to give you a very personal example right now of my mother's health. Serious health concern as recent as February. I'm sharing this with you just to give you an example. And she had TB of the spine. She was on bed rest. She was on pain. There were hospital visits in and out. And in the middle, all of a sudden, she lost her vision. She lost her vision completely. Luckily, as a miracle, she got it back the next day, 50% of it. And then a few days after, she started hallucinating. With this whole cycle, when I look back on the 2 months I was with her day in and day out, I was just thinking, Veena, how were you so calm? How were you so cool about things? How were you able to make decisions with the best? I didn't cry even once. It's not that you should suppress your feelings. If you feel like crying, you should cry. But I'm just giving a recent example of how I felt I have grown as a person and how I have felt with my mind reinforcement and the practice over years. I've been able to handle a health crisis. So it could be anything for everyone. And gone is the time, friends, for why. If you take this situation now, why did this happen? Why isn't this getting better? Why are we stuck in this? Why aren't our lives normal again? Why? What is the why going to do, friends? Tell me. Think about it. Is the why going to help anymore? It's not. So, what is going to help? What is going to help? The how is going to help. How I can plan better for the future. How can I better this situation? How can I take care of my loved ones? How can I overcome my financial problems? How can I improve the relationship with my family or my father or whoever it is? How? And that, my friends, is the only way to move forward. When you move forward, you are at least moving in the right direction. Do you want to move backwards? Okay, who wants to move backwards? Nobody wants to move backwards. But what happens is we see all the whys and we see all the hows. So put the whys behind you. Just put it behind you so you can't see it in front of you. And concentrate on the why, on the hows, sorry. Concentrate on the hows. The whys are at the back. Visualize what you're going to do to make everything better. So this is what resilience is all about. So we need certain skills. Now to put it down, to break it down for you, we need certain skills to build this resilience. So I'm going to go quickly over them and they have to be in order. First of all, love yourself. Okay, who doesn't love yourself? Who would love themselves? Of course, we all love ourselves, but love ourselves enough to fill our cup to the brim that we can actually impart it and make an impact in other people's lives, that we can contribute to their lives as well. And we can only do that when we prime our mind and our body and keep both fit. Then only you can assume that responsibility, that leadership. All right. So that self-awareness, self-love is very important. Secondly, acceptance. Friends, there's nothing you can do when a crisis or when something like this comes up. We have to accept the reality. Like I said, there's nothing you can do to change that. What you can do is to change how you perceive it, what you do as reactions, what you do as responses, and accept the situation. So you accept the power, accept the responsibility to make those changes and improve it. Redirect your energies into action and reaction. All right. Then we move on to positivity. All right. It's very easy to say be positive. I'm positive. Okay. But positivity doesn't mean saying yes, and saying all right, and just saying and just smiling all the time. No. Positivity also means being able to see a negative situation and turn it into something positive. So follow the 3 C's. It's a very famous principle that you could follow. When you catch an emotion, you catch your feeling, catch your thought process, catch it, look at it, and then check on it. Check on it. Try and see it from another perspective. Try and understand it. Try and analyze it. And once you do that, then think of the change. Think of how you are going to change everything So this 3C process is very important for improving positivity. And not only that, when you have positivity in your mind, friends, and when you have acceptance in your mind, setbacks will seem temporary. Is any setback forever for your life? Very few. So setbacks are temporary. Now, a fun example is okay, you've seen the movie Three Idiots, okay? And what do they do in that? They say, all is well, all is well, okay? By saying all is well, when you're trying to reinforce that, does it actually make everything all well? It doesn't make everything well, but it gives you that inner strength, that inner capacity to do your best for that situation and to come up with a solution that can be the best possible. So it's very important to try and get your emotions to think positively. So this is another angle for positivity, and do it, friends, with mindfulness. Be mindful of what you're thinking, how you're thinking. Take the information from the past, use it in the present to create a beautiful future. Restory your life. If there's a crisis, an adversity, then just start another story. Start from now and think of what you're going to do. Friends, you're the director of your own movie. You can't do anything, whatever is gone is gone. But what you can do is take what you have now and turn it into a beautiful future. And we all want to do that. All right. So everything is connected. All these four qualities that are said, I hope you're writing this down, at least the points, they're all connected and they all make sense. And you want more practical ways we can do it. Don't forget the 7 C's of resilience. Now, 7 C's of resilience is a very famous 7C. It's not something I've made up. A lot of the thoughts I've shared with you is through my experiences and what I feel that works in life. But the 7 C's of resilience, if you want to write it down, is 7 C's is control, control of your thoughts. It's competence, meaning the ability to think things out. It's confidence, the confidence that you're going to do the right thing. Coping, coping with this stress. Contribution to yourself, to your society. Connection, connection with your inner self, and character. Developing that character for which you love yourself. And I can say happily that I think I'm an overall happy person. I feel I'm positive. I feel I am able to handle any situation. Again, I'm not perfect because self growth never stops. Mind reinforcement never stops. Learning never stops. It goes on. But hey, be happy with what you are. You are unique. There's no one like you. So you owe it to yourself to build that resilience, to just counteract anything that may come up in your life. Okay? So now let's go on to something more specific when we're talking about an outcome, when we're talking about reconnecting with ourselves inside. How could we do this? Again, use your belief cycle to reconnect your cycle of thoughts and your feelings. That's number one. Number two, affirmations. Affirmations in the morning, if you can get up and say a few lines to this effect: I am strong, I have the inner strength, I'm capable of handling any situation. And sit up. Sit up when you do that and straighten your shoulders and have that smile on your face and feel it. Affirmations, guys, don't work, doesn't work if you don't feel it with the right energy inside of you. And the energy you can cultivate by just sitting in solitude and feeling it. Visualization. Again, visualize yourself as a person who's resilient, who's built this resilience, and who's not only helped to herself, but to everyone around. Be inspirational, be a contributor. So see yourself the kind of person you want to be. Imagine yourself, see yourself, what are you wearing? What are you looking like? What is your environment like? See all that very visually and see the person that you are now and how you're going to be better. So from here, you're going to be here. So this image, push into the background, and this image, bring into the front. This is me. This is my image. This is my visualization. Or you can do this for a situation, if not for yourself. And believe me, if you work on it and you try it out, it will definitely work if it doesn't connect with you, right? And I will try and help you through it and see why it didn't work for you. And I'm going to use a word you're not going to like, the banker, sorry for this. Feel good, friends, for no damn reason. Feel good because it's going to be so many ups and downs in your life. So what is it? How are you going to feel happy? If you're going to feel happy from here to here, are you going to be always happy when you get something, or when you succeed here, or when you do something here? What about this journey here? Feel happy every day. Everything you're doing every day has a meaning, has something positive about it, has gratitude in it, right? So, I mean, just feel that in the moment. All right. So, meditation, like I said, believe in a potential journal gratitude. I want to be able to take you through a 5 minute meditation. So, if are you all ready to do that? Dipankar, is it okay if we do that? Do we have
Yeah,
time,
please. Yeah,
or
please.
shall I skip it?
No, no, it's, I think we have a time. You can always.
All right, fine. So it's going to be a very short one, friends. Do follow it, but when you do it on your own, do it for a little longer, and do give your feedback to Dipankar or to Soulful Exploration as to how you felt about it. So I'm going to switch on some music quickly, and we're going to start on this. Okay, so be in a comfortable position, relax, hands on your knees. I can't get the volume, something's wrong with this. All right. Yes. All right, so take 2 big deep breaths. When you breathe in positivity. And when you breathe out negativity. Breathe in again with positivity and out with negativity. And now look into yourself. Look into your inner self and find that place from where you get all your answers, your inner knowingness, that place where you feel you get your inner strength from. Put your hand on your heart, your less used hand on your heart, and feel with intensity this strength. And say to yourself, I can mold my personal power by accepting initial reaction, but to find the way forward. I have the strength to go on, the steadiness to succeed, the softness to bounce. Through difficulties, I rise above. Like all the flowering plants under the snow, waiting to shoot upwards and blossom when spring comes along. Or like the seed in a plant pot, which pushes itself up through the mud and difficulties to become the beautiful plant. Now this strength permeates to all parts of my body, fills me up. Stay in this for a few seconds. Feeling the strength in all parts of your body. and then radiate outwards. Radiate outwards to the environment around, to the people around, to the situations around, with a smile on your face. I have, I am, I can. Take one more deep breath. Inhale and exhale. Put your hand down. Open your eyes slowly. And opening your eyes, give yourself a big hug. Know that you have the strength and have the confidence to cope with any crisis, to make things better for yourself and for everyone around. Give yourself a tight hug. Inhale. And then exhale, taking all the stress out. So friends, now rub your hands together. And place them over your eyes and over your face. How did that feel, friends? I hope it brought a sense of calmness, even if it was just for a few minutes. But believe me, if you do this properly for a few more minutes and do this regularly, it'll bring you that inner strength for resilience. Okay, so now coming out of this area of reconnecting to yourself. So let's look at the outcome of bouncing back from negative situations and learning from our setbacks. So how are we going to do that? So taking things along with this point in time, this time that we have. So let's think of practical things that we can do during this time. First of all, it's okay not to feel okay. It's okay not to feel okay, not to feel positive. Just take your palm out. Just take your palm out and think of all the areas in your life, your family, your career, your children, your workplace, your social life. Look at all of them and think of all the positives of all these areas and feel good about them and feel gratitude. And feeling that gratitude, think of ways to develop this further. So keep that in mind. There are things that I will be saying now that you won't be able to do immediately. But friends, my reward will be if you could even pick up a few things from what we talk about to the end of the session and apply them. And if it works for you, then great. And have you heard about the worry equation? If there is something that comes in front of your situation, all right, how do we bounce back from that? Think of why worry. If you can do something about it, of course, think about it and then do what you can about it. So why worry then? And if it's something that you can't do anything about, again, why worry? So why worry in any case? I'm not saying you say it automatically and it happens, but this is called mind reinforcement. This is what you keep telling yourself. And another way now to build resilience, go on a mental diet. I really want you to do this. Go on a mental diet for 7 days. Try and not think of anything negative throughout the day. All right, it's not possible. Okay, doesn't matter. At the end of the day, write down all the negative thoughts that you had. Say maybe you had 20 negative thoughts. Then the next day, think of all the thoughts that you had again and try and decrease that figure. Third day, try and decrease that figure even more. At the end of the week, try and minimize it, bring it down to the minimum possible. This cannot be understood unless you do it. If you do this, you will find yourself in a position that is more empowered and you will be able to accept things better. You will be able to think of things more positively. And it's a fantastic exercise for changing negative to positive. All right. Limit your news. You haven't heard that often enough, right? Limit your news. Read news 15 minutes, read about all the figures, everything that's happening here, everything that's happening there. Read it all, but channelize your time with routine. The rest of the day, think of how productive you can be. Think of how you can change your life for the better. Think of reframing a situation. So again, if a negative behavior is there, if a negative person is there, look at that person, look at that behavior, look at that outcome, and say, all right, what is this person teaching me? What is that person teaching me? Once you see that, now what can I do differently? So these are small questions that you can ask yourself. What can I do differently to appease this situation? This is called reframing your thought. So you're reframing a negative thought into something positive. Does that make sense? All right. So gratitude, when you start feeling gratitude, again, it's something that's highly thought about and said. 3 things every night that you're grateful for. Even if it's like your pillow. Oh, I love my soft pillow. I'm so grateful I have this. It helps me sleep so well. 3 things every night. So use your gratitude journal, do that, scramble your thoughts. Anything that someone said, okay, someone said something that you don't like, someone behaved badly with you, all right? So just tell yourself, stop. Stop meaning what? Don't react. Think of it as this traffic light. Stop, red signal, traffic light. And then quickly, just sing a song for 15 seconds. Am I sounding funny? You sing a song for 15 seconds only. And what that does to your mind is that it scrambles all the thoughts in your mind. This is called scrambling. And when it scrambles all the thoughts in your mind, then it gets confused. And then think of something positive. Think of something nice. And your brain automatically will start thinking of something positive. So what this gives you, it gives you time. The red signal, stop yourself. Orange, it gives you time to think. It gives you time between the stimulus and the response, right? And the green signal is when you actually then do something. Physiology affects psychology. How many of you agree that? So you need to be fit with your body as well as your mind. So guys, exercise, laugh a lot, all right? And use your body, yoga, meditation, whatever it is that works for you. And hey, friends, we are not to cut down on social distancing. It's only physical distancing we're cutting down on, not social distancing. And when it comes to finances, plan your finances. Draw a clear line between what you need and what you want. When you think of it in these terms, and think of it as an opportunity again to restore it. Maybe there was something better coming up for you in your life. Maybe you have time now to think about your SWOT, your strengths, your weaknesses, the opportunities, the threats, and how you can make things better in your work field once you get back into work. Or maybe you will suddenly realize, I hate my work. I don't want to do this anymore. I want to do something else with your life. That's a revelation. That's a discovery. That's an evolvement. And all this is going to help you build your resilience. So I hope all this is resonating with you all. Now, friends, this is such a big topic. We can just go on and on forever. And each word, most of the words that I'm using or you would use in general, whether it's positivity, whether there's acceptance, you can actually talk for an hour at a stretch on any one of these words. So there's no end to it. So at the end of it, I'm going to try and sign off now because then I'm just going to go on and on. So I'm just going to sign off with saying one thing. Friends, to build your resilience, be a contributor by impacting yourself and the lives of others. Reconnect with yourself. And there are ample ways to do it. So please get on to them. And also learn to bounce back from the setbacks and become near normal as soon as possible. Do not suppress your grief. Do not suppress your emotions. Let them happen. It's natural, but bounce back. So the final sentence is rejoice about the past. Rejoice about whatever you were able to do, whatever's gone or whatever's in the past, good or bad. Relax now. Relax with an open and a focused mind. All right. And resolve. Resolve with confidence about the future. Okay. So promise me that you're actually going to do some of the things. And that will be my reward. And I hope Dipankar feels the same way. And yeah, we can just go on forever and ever. So
Yeah,
build that
thank
resilience,
you.
build
Thank
that
you,
inner
Veena.
strength,
Thank
be
you.
strong. And yeah, I have total confidence in you guys. I have total trust in your inner potentials. We all have it within us. Just bring it out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Veena, for this wonderful sessions, and you have captured the topics to building the resilience very well, and also give an awesome example for how we can build the mind, so reinforced. And
Thank
I
you.
like the, you have the topic which you have spoken about, uh, the blend of the psychology and the physiology.
Yes.
That's a perfect blend that which you were talking about.
Yes.
Also, I like the what you say about the rewrite your own story. That is something like it is fascinating that we will always keep doing it what we did in the last year. If you keep doing the same thing, we are going to get the same result unless and otherwise
Yes.
we don't change that today, that
Right.
I'm going to
Absolutely.
do something different. And also the very classic affirmations that you said, that I have, I can, I am. Oh my god, it's so wonderful.
Yes.
It's pumped so much of the fresh blood inside that, I'm so inspired, to hearing that your that entire speech. Lovely.
Thank
And
you.
also you've given the couple of example of how the coping mechanisms, and you also spoken about that, about this mental diet. That is something is fascinating.
Yeah. Thank
uh,
you.
the how we can actually can every day we can cut short our all the negative thoughts. We can change it to the positive thoughts.
Right.
We have so many
Absolutely.
viewers have joined us, and there are a lot of questions has coming up. So
Okay.
I'll just take you through quickly for this question answer sessions.
Sure.
So here we have the first questions from the lovely viewers, and asking, as much as the how is important, the why is the one that drive us. So how we can move from the why to how.
Okay. So
Wonderful.
beautiful question. So you are absolutely right. We are all driven by the why. Because Dipankar and friends, if you did not have the why, you would not have to think of the how,
Yes.
right? So that's the main thing. So if you are here with the
Yes.
why, through each question that you have as a why, split it up into steps and come to the how. Through that how, come to your next level of success or happiness or good relationships or personal growth, whatever it is that you are seeking and whatever the why is for. Yeah, I hope that answers that your question.
Very well said, Rina. Very well said. And We have the another questions from this another viewers asking for this. Most times, the people struggle to become an observer as they don't like what they see. If you were able to talk to a leader, how would you tell them be an observer when they are layoff happening? So this is the current scenarios in the market.
Okay.
So this is something very burning questions to the every
Yeah. Yeah.
the corporate world or anywhere.
Yes.
It's happening in the everywhere across the wherever we are dealing with the finance.
Absolutely. Well, I would say use the method of developing perspective. I'll tell you how we can do that. So, if you are, first of all, you have to have your person understand that this is what we're going to do as an exercise. It make it sound like fun. All right. So basically, he's sitting in a seat as person X, and he's thinking of the situation and talking about the situation in that area. So maybe he is a person who has a complaints against Y. So he's in this seat X, and he's had his complaints with with Y. Then you get up from this seat and going to Y, and you are now Y. You're not X. So now you are thinking of X and how you would. Why is he doing the things he did? Why he did that? He's so Y is trying to understand what X is doing, right? Then you get on to the third seat, which is the observer seat. The observer is the third person. So now the third person has heard the perspective of X, he has heard the perspective of Y. So the observer in that role will be able to clarify in his mind where is the actual problem on both sides and how am I going to fix this. So, as an observer, you can very well go through these steps. They might sound like steps as such, but actually, we do this very often with relationships, with corporate problems. When you have a boss-employee problem, whatever it is, and it works wonders. So this is the if you say, okay, think from his point of view, say, ha ha ha, he did that and all, he did this, but that doesn't work. He's like this, and the other person will say, no, put them into that seat and think, okay, you are X, think, and talk how X would talk, then how Y would talk, and then observe. So try this experiment. It's a lot of fun, guys.
Brilliantly answered. Brilliantly answered. We have another question, sir. I just read it out. That how can we be a contributor? Most often, when we struggle, we find it hard to think of anything beyond us. We are limited by the vision. Sorry,
Right.
and how we can think beyond that as a contributors.
So as a contributor, first of all, you have to be sure of yourself. If you are sure of yourself and what you think and how you can, better the solution, better the problem through which solutions, then you can even think of contributing. So, how do you contribute when you can't think beyond? You have to first open your mind and be able to think beyond, and that can easily happen with you. I would just tell everyone, like, whenever you have something you really want to think about and mull about, do it in solitude. You know how meditation is done in solitude? You sit in solitude and you think to yourself, why is this happening? What am I going to do about it? I can't get beyond this. If I don't fix it, how am I going to fix it for other people? Whatever your questions are, you will get clarity. So when you get clarity, then you get that confidence. And when you get that confidence, then you are able to, this is what I feel we can do and we should do. Sit down with them and then contribute your suggestions, your solutions. And half of the time, definitely it'll work. If it doesn't work, they will give their solutions also. And that's then mutual contribution. So that will really help.
That's so true.
And yes, and to tell you frankly, this particular question is a beautiful question, but it needs very in-depth, sessions and understanding of yourself, which I can't do like in 2 lines. But in 2 lines, this is what I would say.
Thank you. Well, very well explained. And all these questions actually required and how to be a contributor. For that, we need to be in our solitude, as you said, and
Yes,
it required a great amount of the patience and the resilience that
yes,
just to
right,
the mind has to be so strong to think that okay, what I have enough now, I can start giving it.
right,
If you do not think that I what I have enough, it will be world will be the never be enough that whatever you
right. No, and another way to contribute more practically, friends, is when you want to contribute, draw a line. Think of what you can do and what you can't do. See? So, what you can do now, if you're going to help people in this situation, okay, you can't go there physically and help them, all right? You can't do that. So, how can you help them? Okay, can you provide the oxygen for them? Can you provide these injections for them by through your force? Whatever you can do. So, what you can do, then you do. That is your contribution. And what you can't do, give them your blessing. Meditate for them, pray for them. And again, those who believe in prayers, it does help. I'm not saying it's the end all and be it an end all solution, but it helps.
thank you. Thank you, Veena. It shows your absolute gratitudes
Thank you.
and understand that where you are coming from, Veena. Thank you. And there is a few more questions are there.
Yeah.
I think we have still time that I can take them also through. That one of this question is that it could be anyone, a business person, a homemaker, a student, a professional. What would you tell each of them about resilience as a common suggestion?
As a common,
As a
what would
common
I tell them
suggestions.
about? What would I tell
What,
them? Could you
yeah,
just
what you
repeat
tell
that?
them, what you tell them about resilience as a common suggestions. What is your
Okay.
message to everyone
Okay.
on this
To
resolution?
everyone who is listening, the common thing that I would tell you about resilience is this is a test of your inner strength and challenge to yourself to build that quality inside of you to bounce back to near normal as soon as possible. So, the message for this is to use your mind reinforcement, reinforce it in your mind to bring that resilience out. Resilience is not easy to come by, but it's not difficult. So, for anyone, whether you're a homemaker, whether you're an entrepreneur, whether you are a student, whatever hardships come in front of you, build yourself, practice so that when it comes, you are able to deal with it better. And if you practice, okay, I'll give you an example of practice. What I did with myself is I practiced for 2 days, giving up a comfort of mine. All right. So I gave up the phone for 2 days. Very difficult, everyone's going to say. Give up the phone for 2 days. I was, impatient. I was wanting it. I was yearning it. I was desiring it. I was feeling lost without it. But then I had to find another way to do what I could do without that phone. So when I did that for 2 days, what did I do? I'm saying this to everybody. What did I do? I practiced not having that comfort. So it was a mini crisis in a way, and I got by. I found ways, empowered myself, and used that resilience to create better productivity without the phone. So whether you're a student or homemaker or anybody, but this will come with practice. You have to do these little things to keep practicing so that when you actually, it'll come more automatically then. Not automatically immediately, but quicker.
So true, said.
Okay.
As you know, as you were saying that I can just correlate that one thing. Just I wanted to add that what you said is that for to become the more productive, it is not that so much things we need to learn. Basically, we need to unlearn so many things, which is
Yes,
actually pulling us down. So
actually.
the unlearned
So
is
beautifully said. So beautifully said, Divankar.
so unlearned is a process. We have actually used to with so many unwanted things in the life. We just keep using it as a baggage and everywhere taking them unknowingly. And that's where that we are not productive, we are not thinking, we are not happy, we're not happy with that. And that
Right.
is what is need to be unlearned.
Right. So that's what we're doing with our belief cycle.
Yes.
So, to change your feelings towards something, everyone, whoever you are, you need to change your thoughts.
Yes.
So to change your thoughts, you have to unlearn, like Dipankar said.
And
But I mean, do this practically. Do all the little things that can be done. It's not it's very easy to say this, Veena and Dipankar. बोलना बहुत आसान है, but
exactly.
it's not easy in real life. But it's not that difficult either,
Yeah,
right? Just keep practicing, and you'll actually enjoy the process.
exactly.
Enjoy it while you're doing it. When I did this process of the phone, it might seem like a small thing. At the end of it, I really enjoyed it. I said, "Wow, I was able to do something more productive without the phone as well. I felt good." Yeah,
That's true. That's so true, Veena. I have one more questions actually. There's a situation. What happened? We everybody knows that what to do and what not to do. Whenever there is a situation, we are being trained. We're being pumped up with a lot of informations in the from the society, from the internet, from the learnings, from the
yeah,
gurus. A lot of things. So we know everything. Then what happened? Whenever there is a some crisis comes, we get collapsed. Then what happened? Then we need somebody to kindle us, to tell us, hey, look, you should do this. My questions to you that, but same thing, when we see those same situations is not happened with us, if the same problems is not happening with us, if these problems are there with the next door somebody, we have the 1000 solutions to tell him, hey, you should have done that, you should have called that police, you should have you should have approached to this guy, you should keep all those things, medicines at your home. So much of advice we can give, that when the same things happens to us, knowing everything, we get collapsed. My
yeah,
questions to you, Veena, is here, that how we can disassociate from us from the problem. Is there, if there is any trick, if you can give to our viewers, that
yeah,
it will help them, so that they can look that problem as a separate, because they and the problem, it is not the same, it is a different thing. But whenever the problem comes, we get into the problems. That
right,
how we can
right.
disassociate.
Well, first of all, when we have our own problems and we feel that we are collapsing, we are actually being too critical with ourselves. We are being too analytical. Because for the next door neighbor, we'll say, ye karna chahiye, wo karna chahiye. We don't know the real situation. We don't know the real environment unless it's a friend or a relative. So when it comes to us and we see 10 other things, what we want is a perfect solution. We look for a perfect solution. That's why we're critical. That's why we're analytical. And then we are not able to find that. And we feel that we're collapsing and we're not getting that right answer. All right. So the trick is to actually see it at a distance, see it as an observer. Okay. So this is the external factor that is happening. So instead of letting this disturb my mind here, okay, I'm going to look at it as a problem. So I'm going to dissociate myself with a problem. All right, I have lost a loved one. The grief is there, but it's there. I'm going to feel that grief. But now, what am I going to do for that grief to bounce back and help myself and help that family? So, what you need to do is put yourself into that observer mold. And that only takes conscious effort, and telling your mind again and again. All right, again and again. It's happening to us, but then this is something outside of our control. So now what do we do? Like, for example, if I said if it happened to my mother, it's something that's happening to me. Something happening to your own mother is very devastating, right? But if I chose to cry and just fall all over the place and collapse, what would happen? So I think of it, okay, she's lost her sight. Of course, those few minutes were like terrible, but then you look at it, all right, this has happened. I have to get back to this. I have to get her MRI done. I have to get this done. We have to do the best possible to get this. So this is what you do to dissociate: is look at it outside of you. Am I making sense? If it's sounding a little too, it's just a matter of practicing techniques. So these are techniques that we use, but they come with practice and they come with actually doing them. All right. And if you feel at a point in time that there's so much grief or you're just feeling like collapsing, let it happen to you. But don't dwell on it too long, is what I'm saying. Because eventually we have to accept it, right? We have to love ourselves. We have to accept it. We have to try and see what best we can do out of it, see the positive side of it. We have to eventually find solutions. So why not do it in a more calm, in a peaceful way, as far as we can, in a calmer way? And then, people will, that impact on yourself will be fantastic. The outcome of it to people around will be fantastic, your contribution. And hey, leave a legacy for yourself. All right. So be that person who is an observer. Again, another few sessions needed for this.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Veena, for so much of this information and its lovely answers that which you have given. We have many questions. I think we are short of time. We will be answering them back. Maybe after this, we can answer
Okay.
them.
All right.
uh, Myself here, DC Malik, and with Veena, I just wanted to thank you to all the lovely viewers that who are associated with us and watching all over across the world to make this very successful and to give us lot of other appreciations and. I just wanted to convey that all the team, without them, this program would have been not possible. The one of our co-founder Anu Krishna, who is did actually behind the screen lot of works to make this event happen, and all our the team members. I'll say the thank you to all of them, and we have the another beautiful sessions of the conscious circle of excellence with a very wonderful speaker on 27th of this month. Please don't forget. I don't want you to reveal that anything now. Please don't forget to watch that, and I will say thank you to all behalf of the Soulful Explorations on behalf of Pina. Thank you very much, and we are signing off.
Cancel. First gone. Thank you very much, everybody, for being here. Thank you for being a part of our episode. Thank you, Deepankar. Thank you, Soulful Exploration. Thank you, Anu, for having me here. I enjoyed myself thoroughly. And hey, guys, do some of the stuff. That'll be our reward. All right. And if there are any questions unanswered, I will leave it to them as to how they want to tackle it. I'm happy to answer those questions in whichever way possible. And yeah, so keep the flag flying, guys. Keep resilient. All right. Thank you so much for being such a wonderful audience, silent but wonderful.